Warren Olney back with To the Point. Once again, here's Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu addressing today's joint meeting of Congress. At issue are the ongoing negotiations between Iran and 6 countries, including the U.S. and Russia. Netanyahu denounced what he called 2 dangerous concessions.
1, leaving Iran with a vast nuclear program. And 2, lifting the restrictions on that program in about a decade. That's why this deal is so bad. It doesn't block Iran's path to the bomb. It paves Iran's path to the bomb.
We heard earlier that Susan Rice, the president's national security advisor, had said that there would be inspections of the nuclear establishment in Iran as part of whatever deal is agreed to. David Albright is a former weapons inspector, and he's president now of the Institute for Science and International Security. David Albright, thank you so much for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
What do you think about the deal that is being worked out, to the extent that we know the terms, and will inspectors be able to determine what really is going on? Mr. Netanyahu said today, raised the specter of secret weapons development that we don't know about, and said that there had been such things on the part of Iran in the past.
Yeah, I think the first thing is we don't know what the deal says. I mean, we do know, and I think David Aaron made this do I say David Aaron? Aaron David made this clear, yes. Biased, but it made this clear that much remains unsettled, and I think that is true. One of the things that remains unsettled is just how much authority the inspectors will have to conduct short notice or snap inspections. Can they go anywhere, anytime, in essence, to track down suspicious activity? Will they get broader declarations, more detailed declarations from Iran so they can build a more complete picture? Will Iran be required to, in essence, address the IAEA's concerns about Iran's alleged past work on nuclear weapons, and some of which may have continued to this day? And so I think those issues remain to be settled, and I think whether this agreement is good or not will depend on, at least to a large extent, on how those questions are settled. And I can tell you from what I know, Iran is resisting these additional supplementary inspection methods and resisting greatly. And I'll just give an example where the IAEA needs to go to the Parchin site. That's a site controlled by the Revolutionary Guard. They sent a signal early in the process of the Joint Plan of Action. Don't even think that the IAEA is going to be allowed into Revolutionary Guard sites. Obviously, that has to change. Now, they're going to have to get involved in this discussion or these negotiations, and they're going to have to back down if there's going to be a deal.
David Albright, again, a former weapons inspector. Let me go back to Emad Kiyaei, executive director of the American-Iranian Council. Do you think that Iran will back down in the way that David Albright says it will have to in order to make a deal?
Well, David mentioned a point about the Parchin site, which is actually a military site. And I know that he knows very well that the IAEA and the mandate that it has does not allow it to go beyond nuclear facilities for inspection. That's one. Number two, when it comes to monitoring, evaluation, and verification of Iran's nuclear program, we have agreements in place. That includes a nuclear non-proliferation treaty. And within that, it provides these instruments for inspection, for monitoring, and so forth. Iran is a signatory to the NPT and has, to this day, allowed inspectors in many of its nuclear facilities. And what these negotiations are trying to find out is, as David has mentioned, is the level of access, is how intrusive can the monitoring be. And I believe an Iran negotiating team has